Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. What's happening?
Well, first of all, introductions. Sarah, meet Luke. Luke, meet Sarah.
Hi, Luke. All right. What's happening?
Not too much, not too much. I feel like I know you already because I've seen your guys' show. I've seen you guys banter on quite a few times. So you guys are famous. You don't have to introduce yourself.
So you knew what you were coming into. So you knew that and it came on anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
Sure.
Well done.
Well, my life is so boring right now. I need to do something with it. So this is perfect.
Where in the world are you, Luke? Sorry, take it over again, Lucy. Sorry.
I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, which is like on the west side of Canada.
Oh, Canada! Oh.
The biggest northern city in the world, basically. So the coldest
As
place.
soon as we're allowed out, can we come and visit you? Because I'd love to go to Canada.
I'd love to have you guys. I don't know if you want to be here right now. It's pretty cold, but if you don't mind the winter, I guess you guys are always cold though, right?
We have winters in Wales. I'm in Wales in the UK. We have winters. I swim in the sea every weekend, and last weekend it was like 40. It was really cold. It was icy. So I'm aware of the cold, although I am aware that Canadian winters are much colder.
Do you use like a wetsuit or something?
No.
Just
I've got enough natural blubber to keep me very warm.
Insulation.
No, Lucy, I'm not putting myself down. It's factual. Not for much longer though. I'm using up all my spare energy. Don't worry.
It's not self-deprecating. It's science.
There's Hugh. Hello, Hugh.
Hugh.
What's up, Hugh?
I don't know why I expected him to say hi back. I'm just. We've got a friend, Danny Friend, who every time we say hi to her, she always waves back and realizes she's watching a TV program, and she's like, "What? Why? Why do I wave?"
I love that.
I met Luke in a workshop, and it was 3:00 in the morning here, and we ended up doing a workshop for like 3 hours. It was absolutely brilliant. We worked out so many good routines. In fact, for those of you that may have seen some of my open mic nights that I do online, the motorbike routine was purely from that work. There was another guy in the workshop whose magic word he had to work on was Q-tips or cotton buds, as we would call them. And everyone was like, you know, thank God I didn't have that one. Then it turned out that guy ended up with the most material. He could have done a 10-minute set on it.
Just goes to show. You can talk about anything, isn't it? The old comedy.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's a great show because I always get lit up right before it, and then I just make notes the whole time. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. So I'll think of stuff just as I'm going to sleep, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's gold, that is." And I'll wake up in the morning and be like, "No, it really isn't." It's comedy mud, if anything.
What I'm going to ask you, Luke, is comedy coming back in Edmonton, even if slow and small and outdoor? I don't know if you can do outdoor if it's absolutely freezing, unless you like have the leg loose. But you know, is there a scene, and how is the scene where you are?
I would say the scene's doing pretty well. We lost a big club. Like one of our big main clubs was this fantastic place. It's called the Empress, and it was like the greatest little dive bar on the planet. You know, like made of wood. Like if a fire started there, it would go up so quickly because it's just made out of like grain alcohol and wood. This place is so much personality, and it was one of the only clubs in town where people would go to be like, we're going for the Sunday night comedy show. Like the Sunday night comedy show was like kind of famous there. So to lose that was pretty heartbreaking for a lot of people. But they're doing like we just did a tournament, a Crown of Comedy tournament at the Comic Strip, and that was my first time to be at the Comic Strip, which felt really good. So I'm trying to not do I don't do as many shows as humanly possible because I'm trying to limit the amount of times that I'm going out to a club. So if it's like once a week or something like that, I would like to do that. But I mean, there are still like people are just making things happen. Like all the old shows are coming back. All of like the stuff's coming back, even though we're like disinfecting the mics in between, and you know, we have to have cohorts and 6 feet of space and stuff. But yeah, it's been interesting to see people kind of come up with new routines or new things surrounding it. And I've seen actually the comics go, you know, just up their levels big time because they've had so much time at home to work on their stuff. So
that's interesting. Because I know people in the past who will be a bit like, oh, I need a gig like 3 times a week, otherwise I'm going to go rusty. But I think having a break is definitely good for anybody and for any walk of life or any type of job. A break is always going to do you good, isn't it?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think you want to have, like, it's nice to have a set that you have memorized, but I don't think you want it to sound memorized either. You know, like I don't think you want to go up on stage and be like da 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 da. Like that's great. That's good corporate type stuff. But I love comedy that's like, you know, just a person kind of sharing their soul with you, right? And so I have some great openers and closers that I use all the time. But I try to tell them in a different way each time, or do it in a different format, or do something. So. You know, in anything, like you've got we have our group of comics who are like, you know, your super popular, famous comedians in the city, and they run the shows, and they're the popular ones and the cool guys and the cliquey people, and that is always going to exist. But yeah, it's cool to see a bunch of people just kind of making up their own thing. Like people are making their own rooms and making their own shows, making their own podcasts. So it's great.
Yeah, lots of creativity, isn't there?
Sorry
like this, like long. What we're doing here. All the creative.
Like you have to get you have to be able to tell your jokes and bounce your jokes off somebody, or bounce your material off somebody, right? And you know, we used to have one show that was a Wednesday night show, and it was all comedians, and that's like the hardest room to do because there's like 50 comedians there signed up, and nobody's listening to anyone's act. They're all thinking about their act, right? So
yeah, that's
we have
pretty new material nights in the UK are like that. At many of them, especially London ones.
Have you ever heard of a thing called a bringer? which is a comedy routine in its own right. So you are allowed to perform at an open mic night as long as you bring another person with you who it's for capacity and sell drinks and stuff, but it's usually either another comedian doing you a favor so that you will go to their bringer and they go to yours. There's actually an exchange program where you just go on there. I mean, but thinking about it now, like, God, talk about putting yourself up for like the beginning of a horror movie. Hello, I need a stranger to meet me in a late night venue. And if you don't kill me, I'll go to your late night venue. You can kill me then.
It's funny how your brain goes to like serial killer horror movie, and my brain goes to porn. You know,
because we're women, we're at threat of being killed in any occasion.
Think about being murdered. I always forget. You know,
I've actually, because
when I run at night with my headphones on, I'm always thinking, God, it's nice to be a man.
If anyone attacked me now, I reckon I could put up a good fight. That's what men think.
Well, the thing is, Luke could, because he built like a brick shit house. Yeah.
We do a male objectification. Do you want to show us your guns?
But I wrote.
So I was getting back to shows. The show that I've just produced at the country club, they paid us all before we went up. They gave us a green.
Nice.
They fed us. They gave us drinks. The show was killer. So like I walked away from that like on a cloud thinking this is amazing. And then I thought to myself, this is an unbelievable way for us to make, not only to make money to promote shows, because I can't think of another show where comics show up early and stay late and they're really, really happy to be there and they hang out, because they never do that. We're broke, right? Like we show up 5 minutes before showtime, we leave as soon as we're done. And I feel bad when I see like, oh, you should stay for the headliner, but it's like, when I'm in performance mode, I'm in performance mode. I just want to perform, have a drink, and then leave. Maybe I'll stay for 1 or 2. If I go out to see comedy, which I do, I'll go out specifically to watch comedy. So it's cool. I'm like got a room where I'm able to treat comedians like gold. Like it's like a spa day. You come to a country club, you can hang out in the hot tub before your show if you want. You can shoot hoops. You can have a drink, eat in the green room, get paid beforehand. So it's cool to be able to start producing a show where it's like you're treated professionally, you're treated, really well. So.
Oh, nice. Well done. That's lovely.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I'm just going to quickly say we've got a few viewers that have been in touch. So, and I love the fact that because it's a comedy show, people do like to have comedy names. So one of our biggest fans is Hugh Janus. We've got a big hello from Test Tickles.
I'm only now just getting that. I thought that was his real name.
Get it?
Yeah.
Goodness sake. We've got Comedy Ray. You go, Luke.
You think of balls with ice coming off of them. That's all that makes.
We've also got a big Ray saying a big hello. Who is every time we have a guest on any of our shows, I don't know how much he does the research, but he always finds a question that's just like, well, I think you did an interview 3 years ago and you said this, that, the other. He's uncanny. So his question is, hey Logan, is the Rhythm Studio still going strong? Do any of those words mean anything to you?
Oh yeah, Rhythm Studio. Interesting. Rhythm Studio, from what I know, was my dance place. That's where I would go dance. And we have an instructor named Chad Datoski, teaches salsa and bachata. So I've been doing that for quite a few years. That's a great little studio. I don't know if he has it still running or not, because COVID just kicked everyone's ass. He's been doing a lot of stuff in the park. I don't think he's still leasing it, but the group is still going. You can find Rhythm's Insider Group and look up Chad Datoski. I think that's who he's talking about. He might be talking about a dive bar in Albert. Who knows? Who knows?
I'm also a little bit distracted because I've got a very small kitten who carries a little toy lion in her mouth and runs around the house like she's like in a little steeplechase. It's quite distracting to see the world's cutest thing running around the living room. So let's move on to the questions. Let's get some shenanigans on. So I don't know if Sarah, if you had time to create. Look at that. That's amazing. As our guest, Luke, you will be answering a special guest question at the end, which I sent you, but I wouldn't let you answer it. I'm very serious about it. So here's my first question. For the rest of your life, you can only skateboard or roller skate. What do you choose?
Well, I've only ever tried skateboarding once. It didn't go well. So I think there's more stability with roller skating. So I'm going roller skating.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go roller skating too. I think I tried skateboarding a couple of times. I could sit. We had a hill just where my grandmother's house was. We had a stupid hill because all of us kids used to just go down it, and there was nothing stopping that. So the hill went like that, and then it just went straight into an open road. And every child would do like go down on the bike or go down on skateboard or whatever, and you would just fall off. But it was the 80s, so you just got up, brushed yourself off, go back up the
hill. Kids were made of rubber.
I think then it actually reflects into then I have had the pleasure of skiing, and I have had the pleasure. I'm going to take the word pleasure out of snowboarding, and I snowboarded for one day until I went, no, can I change this to skis, please? Because I like the ability to move my legs.
There's a lot of tendon
so what about you, Luke?
With snowboarding. No.
Oh, no, I don't like it. Fell on my ass once and I thought, fuck this. No. So what about you, Luke? Are you are you a roller derby boy, or are you like a bad fly skateboarder?
I'm super attracted to roller derby girls for some reason. I don't know what it is. Even though they look strong enough to kick the shit out of me, maybe that's what it is. I would like, if you're saying you get to choose one for the rest of your life, I'm probably going to say skateboard, because the skateboard's not attached to your feet. Whereas if you roller skate for the rest of your life, they're going to be always on. So, and I don't know, I guess if do I get the Fleetwood Mac song and get to drink some cranberry juice the whole time that I'm doing this? I don't know if you guys know that.
Which Fleetwood Mac song?
That, oh, damn it. It's okay. So TikTok right now, this guy was on stage drinking cranberry juice and listening to Fleetwood Mac. And for the past like year, it's been nothing but people on roller skates with this Fleetwood Mac song. And I'm like, guys, this Fleetwood Mac song's been around a long ass time. But now it's like, everybody's doing it. So I would say, yeah, if I could roller skate to the Fleetwood Mac song, it seems to be the only thing that's non-judgmental on the planet right now is people on roller skates with that Fleetwood Mac song. So everybody's happy with that.
Yeah, cool.
I have to tell this anecdote. It's one of my proudest anecdotes. I was coming down the M5 in my truck late at night, and there's a rule of the road. So I'm assuming that your roads are exactly the same as ours, even if they're back to front. But when you're going down the road and you can see that someone's about to join the motorway or the highway, you move over to let them out. And you do that in trucks because it's just like a rule of the road. You move out to let a truck join the big road, and then they let you join back in. That's what you do. So I'm plowing along, and The Chain by Fleetwood Mac is on, but just the beginning bit, the fluffy bit. Right? And as I move out, this fucker will not let me back in. He's holding me out. And I'm like, you've broken the rules of the road. And I thought, no, I'm not moving back. No. I'm going to overtake him. And we were sort of similar weight, similar engine sizes. And I was like, I can see a hill coming up. And just as I started going manic, went down, and I'm driving my truck. I'm leaning forward as though it's going to make the truck go faster. You're not keeping me out, you fucker. And I managed to get him on a hill, and I was driving like that, you. And I realized music can affect your mood when driving. I think if it hadn't turned into the chase bit of the chain, I would have just gone, fine, he's an idiot, just move back. But the minute that down happened, my foot just went straight down. No, he's not having me.
I gotta say, there's nothing more frustrating though as a driver when you're behind two trucks alongside each other and you're like, one's got to overtake the other one now, because you can't go faster than 60 miles per hour. So if you're on a dual carriageway and you're stuck behind them, you're like, come on, why are you doing this? God's sake, pain in the ass. Because you know you're just going to be sat there for 10 frigging minutes. So you're in the front going, oh, come on. And every other car is behind going, oh, really? Just stuck here now. Thanks, truckers.
I've gotten weird about people not having proper mud flaps. You know, like if you have high tires and no mud flaps, I'm immediately angry at you because you're spitting rocks into people's windshield.
Ooh, yeah.
So, and you know, as soon as you get a chip fixed, it's like as soon as you get on the highway, bam, you're gonna get another one. So I'm always like this cantankerous old man, just like, get bigger mud flaps. Like I'll you need bigger mud flaps, and like I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Flaps, don't get your flaps sorted.
It's amazing what sign language you think would match that when you're in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine in Canada you've just got vast expanses of icy roads to drive up and down.
So much space, it's ridiculous. Like we have so much space, so much horsepower. Everybody wants to speed. Everybody wants to go fast. And you know, our idea of traffic is like if we're slowly moving. Like we don't have traffic jams here where it's like everything's stopped for hours at a time. We don't get to experience that. So kind of, it makes you
don't get to experience it.
Yeah, well, it makes you a lot more impatient when you do. You like start getting really pissed off. So
that's my world. Where I live. You get onto the motorway, you turn right. Traffic jam at Skewen. Traffic jam at Port Talbot. Traffic jam at Cardiff. Traffic jam. It's like a 50-mile stretch of road. You're looking at least 5 separate traffic jams, depending on what time of day it is. So I think I'm going to move to Canada, is what I'm saying. Basically, get that spare room sorted.
The border between the border between England and Wales, the M4. If you hit it at the wrong time, I once did 1 mile in an hour and a half. Welcome to Newport, the gateway to Wales. You're like, do. Oh, handbrake on.
Holiday.
Oh.
The home of the traffic jam. It never used to be that way. Too many people on the road. Well, no one's on the road now, obviously, because of COVID. But
there's only one Mecca that I want to visit in the entire. Like, I mean, I want to see a lot of things in the UK, but there's one Mecca I want to go to, and that's the Geordie Shore, just because. I refuse to believe that people like this exist on the planet. I refuse to believe it. Like weird little Russian mobster kids with tons of money.
I haven't watched it, but because I bet it's horrendous.
It is.
There was a Welsh version of it called The Valleys.
So no beach, just a valley.
It's called The Valley. Yeah.
My brother actually started watching Geordie Shore. And he got me to, I was over at his house and he was like, oh, sis, I want you to see this show. And he put it on and my face for the episode was just like, I could not believe that these humanoids were in existence and that somehow, like we've all seen a Big Brother house where people are like, oh, you begin to put the camera on. No, you don't, because you're in no. Right? No, you don't. And in Geordie Shore, the cameras are right here, right in your face, being carried around, following you. And the stuff that they say and do, you can just hear their parents watching it back going, oh, what are you doing?
I should have worn a condom that night, is what their parents are saying.
But they're so like wide open about sex. It's great. Like whereas if you watch the show, like if you watch Big Brother in Canada or Big Brother in the States, it's way. I don't know. They don't. It seems like in the UK Big Brother they just have sex whenever they want. They're just like,
I am a massive, big fan of Big Brother USA and Big Brother Canada. And because over here, Big Brother, if somebody's a knobhead, I don't know if that word translates across to Canada, but I think you can get the gist. If somebody's a massive dickwad, the public will keep them in to make it more antagonistic in the house, and because they want to see this stupid car crash. Oh, but when Big Brother, America and Canada, there's no public voting. Person in the house becomes head of household and has to vote two people out and look them in the eyes and go, I am putting up Sarah and Luke. Sarah, it's because you took my cereal. Luke, it's because I heard you made an alliance with Gary and Tony and that you were going to go for it. And then you've got to get the veto. And it's like a game of Risk. You make secret alliances. And like the minute Sarah leaves the room, you and I like, let's get Sarah out. All right, let's pretend. And then I leave the room and you, Luke and Sarah, you'll be like, let's get Lucy out. And it's amazing. It's a knife fight for like $250,000. And I love it.
A knife fight for 250,000. So in the UK, the audience votes the people out.
Yeah, and it will be whoever the most stupid, annoying, aggressive, cantankerous, whoever everybody wants out. They're like, they're in. Let's keep them in, and they'll yeah.
So people probably act like complete assholes on purpose then, because they know they'll last longer in the game.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, they'll either be assholes or they'll have sex or they'll just be outrageous. They think they're being outrageous because they're hoping to get camera time.
Right.
And they're hoping, because really they're probably all looking at, right, what's afterwards. In the early days of Big Brother, it used to be a psychological show. It used to be quite interesting because you were watching that genuinely, it's like a human zoo, and they'd have psychologists going, oh, this is what this behavior means. But then after about 5 years, the entertainment factor kicked in and it all became about sex and people being crazy. And that's kind of when I switched off then, when they got rid of the psychologist.
I stopped. And I think everyone did, really, because to begin with, they picked normal people, and now they only pick people that would be more suited to Geordie Shore.
Yeah,
it's a complete twist. Whereas with Big Brother Canada and Big Brother America, they're just normal people. They're just like, farm worker, mechanic, doctor, teacher. And and you learn nothing about their personal lives because all you hear them talk about is game plan. Whereas in the UK, it's like, oh, I got off with a footballer and it's just stupid. Oh, I got picked to do a cover shoot once and I had to get my boobs out. And it's just like, really?
I watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and I'm always like, how can you not know there's something wrong with these people? It's like, my name is Brendan, I'm 25, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a successful business person, I'm a model, I'm all these amazing things. And it's like, okay, there's a reason,
Tell you what, I've been reading this book about serial killers.
Odd here, like, why is Brendan single at 25? He should not be single. He should definitely not, there's a reason. So I always just laugh at, because eventually it comes out what their issues are later on the show, and everyone's just trying to get further in the show.
Yeah. Well, I've been reading this book about serial killers, and it has changed how I think I'm going to do dating from now on. We've all been getting it wrong, okay? Apparently, serial killers, they have domineering mothers, or they've had it. And they always blame it on the mums, don't they? We've got to blame it on the women, right? But domineering mothers, and they hurt animals as children. Right. So, first two questions. So, any prospective date, how do you get on with your mum, and have you ever killed an animal? And if it's a yes to the animal, and it's oh yeah, thanks, bye. But you're a serial killer. You're gonna kill people. So yeah,
I was on a date and I asked, she was like, "Oh, I'm really into this true crime or blah blah blah," and we were eating, and I said, "Who's your favorite serial killer of all time?" And she put her utensils down and looked up at me and was like, "That's the best question I've ever been asked on a date."
No, shut up. She didn't say that to you.
She said
She must
that.
have fancied your pants off. Come
She
on.
was like,
What's your favorite serial killer? On a first date, I'd be like,
yeah.
it's been nice meeting you. Bye. Why do you want to know my favorite serial killer?
We had well, I mean, the question didn't come out of the blue. She was like, I really like true crime and serial killer stories. That's why I asked.
Okay, so she opened the door. We didn't just pull it out the air.
It wasn't like a fumble, like my first.
Hi, my name's Luke. Who's your favorite serial killer?
Serial killer.
Did you sing Psycho Killer for her?
What are your favorite color pajamas? The pink ones or the ones that have the funny design on them?
The pink ones or the blood-flecked ones? Which is your favorite?
The pink ones smell the best. You should like them.
I'm going to move us on because we will just gabble about this for ages. We've had a couple of comments from people, so we've got a lot to talk about the amazing topic that we do have.
Shall I do a question?
And then they get chosen at the Go for being arseholes. That's what people think about the UK chosen one. Space Cadets. I think that was one where people were going to go and do like a fake Mars one, wasn't it?
Was that one where they were going into space?
Yeah, but I think it was. I think they sort of built that, which in my head just instantly takes me back to Pauly Shore Biodome sort of ideas.
90.
I know, right? Right. So, Sarah, I'm very intrigued to see what's in your big sieve of questions, the sieve of truth.
Yeah. Oh, okay. First one out. Halloween. Love it or hate it?
I'm going to hate it this year because of Tiger King. Tiger King is going to make me hate it this year because everybody's going to be dressed up as, the Tiger King guy or the woman on that show. Yeah.
It's on Dancing with the Stars or something in America.
What's that?
Is her name Carol?
Yeah.
Carol Baskin. Yeah. I haven't.
Carol
raise your hand if you've seen Tiger King.
No.
Not all of it. I didn't watch the last 2 episodes because I was like, that's enough.
Yeah. I heard all about it and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna, as you know, I think I'm not keen on watching the animal cruelty, but
that's exactly what I thought.
I just thought, nah. I'm the kind of person that cheers when an animal, a caged animal ends up killing and eating their owner / torturer. I'm like, yeah, you go, bloody eat the hell out of him. But so I just thought I don't think it's going to be for me. But I had heard of this because it's impossible to get away from Carol Baskin. I heard that she was going on Dancing with the Stars, which is the American Strictly Come Dancing. So if any Americans watching, you could let us know. But yeah, because in America, do you dress up a lot in Canada as well? Because we don't really do that over here, do we? The kids do, but the adults tend not to, unless we're going out on a Saturday night, and then it's a good excuse to get dressed up.
Yeah, we do a lot of like costume parties, and I do love costume parties. But it has kind of turned into a bit of a narcissistic extravaganza. You know what I mean? Everybody works out before Halloween so that they can put on their sluttiest costume, and the guys are the same way too, right? So it's cool. It's an adult party. It's fun. People feel sexy. There's like 25 women dressed as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
So they're not like I wish the costumes were a little bit more original. But yeah, I think sexiness has taken over everything, to be honest with you. I think there's sexy.
So you've got sexy vampire, sexy ghost, sexy schoolgirl, which don't even open the door on that bag of shit, right? So like, really? It's name something, but put the word sexy before it,
right?
And I remember I went to a party, and it was an animal themed fancy dress. So I went as a bumblebee, a massive fat bumblebee. I bought the biggest black t-shirt you could buy, put hoops in it, got my mum to help me sew the ribbons. She's going to give me a look now. She did all the work. I just threw the stuff at her, to be honest. And everybody came up to me and they were like, "Oh my God, are you pregnant?" I'm like, no. And they're like, "But why aren't you a sexy bee?" And I was like, "Excuse me, but in a honeybee, if you're skinny, you ain't sexy. That is, you want to be a fat bee if you want to get laid." And they just couldn't equate it in their head that I went as a costume that wasn't a sexy costume.
I also don't know if you've had sex with a bee doggy style before, but it's not that great of an experience. With
Right up the
Sorry, I tuned out a second then. Did you just say, I don't know if you've ever had sex with a bee doggy style?
Yeah.
That's got to be
a question I've asked very
How
often.
do you have sex with a bee? How do you
Very
get to sit still?
It's just happening in my mind, and I'm thinking about that stinger, and it's just not a good idea. Although I would rather bang a bee than a wasp. Wasps are just assholes.
Yeah, but with wasps, you could have that angry sex, couldn't you?
That's true, yeah.
I like over here that we do that the kids can do trick or treating, and as kids we used to do trick or treating. But as a child of the 80s, a Halloween costume basically meant a black bin liner with a hole and arms cut in it, and you decided whether what you were really. It was something, but it only had to be like a bin liner. You'd bob for apples. There would be a pumpkin that would be carved, but it wouldn't be like a huge pumpkin carving thing. It would just be like, just a smiley face.
We didn't have pumpkins. You'd be lucky if we would have turnips. We carved turnips, which would be impossible to carve.
Exactly, it's like trying to whittle a stone.
Yeah, kind of do like half of one eye and go, "Oh, that'll do."
But I saw the faces of the turnip faces, and they're terrifying. They're like gray, weird. The turnip lanterns are terrifying.
But what I don't agree with Halloween is the fact that it now seems to run from September.
Like coincides with Christmas.
Yeah, it's sort of October, the 31st. That was it. You just put a decoration up for that, and that was it. There was nothing before and nothing after. And now it's sort of like you see the Halloween stuff creeping into the shops by about early September, and you're like, what are you doing? Because right behind that Halloween decoration is Christmas cards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's only the 18th of October. We've got another 10 days to Halloween. We've got another month and a half till proper winter. So we're still in autumn. And I was looking for like autumnal decorations. You can't get them anywhere. Everything's Christmas now, which is really miserable. I'm like, I want to add to my autumnal decorations, but we can't. We can't.
I'm just not I just don't think Halloween kids are so soft now. Because when we were kids, when we go for Halloween, it was like a -20 Celsius, freezing cold, and we would have like 2 garbage bags full of candy when we were, done, and we would be hauling this from house to house. Now they just take their kids to the mall and they get a cup of coffee and they sit and drink coffee, and their kids go out and do something. I'm like, this is so lazy. Kids are just lazy asses now. So I don't feel bad for kids at all. It's pretty funny.
It's like, where's the hypothermia, guys?
Come on. And kids play hockey nowadays. They have wheels for their bags and stuff. They're just soft ass kids. One parent asked me, he's like, how do I make my kid stronger for hockey? I'm like, stop carrying his equipment. Let's start with that. Stop driving.
Do you play hockey, Luke?
Oh yeah.
Are you on a frozen lake, outside?
Yeah, well, normally, we'll just go and play what's called shinny, which is just you show up and you throw your sticks in the middle and everybody plays, and there's, you know, a group of really good players or a group of really shit players. We call them bad players benders. We had a bunch of benders there, and they're like cones with skates. So they're great. You skate around and get a good workout.
Oh, cool. It just sounds so
Wow.
idyllic. All I know, I don't know much about Canada other than all the Ryan Reynolds movies before he went to LA. And it all seems quite, I'm like, oh, Canada seems really lovely. And
It's so funny when someone mentions a country and then they just say some just complete random obscure person that they know. They're like, oh yeah, like Bryan Adams or Ryan Reynolds or something. Like if I think Wales, I'm like a boxing guy, so I'm thinking of Joe Calzaghe. Like they'll know Joe.
I know Joe.
Sure, Joe.
Yeah, Joe. He's like, all right, Joe, what's happening? You like that? Yeah. He was on Strictly Come Dancing a few years ago.
Not unusual. Like I know that's the only thing I know. The two people that I know from Wales.
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones and Joe Calzaghe.
And they're about two of the best people, to be fair. Other than Catherine Zeta-Jones. Come on, you've heard of Catherine.
Yes.
Our Cath.
Yes.
She got
Our Cath.
last
She
year.
was the sex bomb of 1994, right? 1994 to 1996. I just remember her butt going underneath those lasers.
And entrapment.
Yeah.
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 Sean
Funny
Connery.
how my mind goes, right? Just like, oh yeah, Catherine Zeta-Jones, butt, lasers.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful picture as well of like Hollywood, because I mean, look at the ages of them in that movie. Like Catherine Zeta-Jones would have been sort of like late 20s, and Sean Connery would have been what,
85?
60?
Perfectly normal age difference. I think Catherine Zeta-Jones, and I think Debenhams, 1995, because I worked in Debenhams and she walked through there once. I was like, oh, Catherine.
Which is a retail department store.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Big shop. Swansea's big shop. Go to Debenhams for the makeup and the perfume. And Catherine was in there, and I was like, oh, Catherine. Right, go on.
My turn for another question. Come on. Right. Okay, it's another choice. Okay, so where would you prefer to live?
All the Welsh people. Sorry, Ray started to name Welsh people.
Where would you prefer to live? Underground or in the sky?
They say underground, overground, or wobbling free.
Wobbling free. Yeah. So where would you rather live? Underground or in the sky?
I kind of feel like I already live underground with COVID now. You know, like I'm a complete hermit at this point. So I do kind of feel like I already live underground. In the sky would be great, because you can piss on people, you can spit on people, you can,
But you'd have to really improve your aim to actually hit them, depending how high up you are, isn't it? If you're like 20 feet, I'll be all right. But you're living 100 feet in the sky. I'll be like, oh, Luke, stop it. I know you're up there, weeing all over the place.
Raining there. It's raining there. Luke.
Yeah. Why is the rain warm and smelly? Stop it.
And to say the worst groaning dad joke that you've probably heard 1,000 times, but Lucy, you'd probably be up there just dropping diamonds on everybody, right?
Yay. Lucy in the sky, diamonds.
And with that, you know, there's a joke where you're in your mind, it's like, just don't tell it, don't say it, just don't. But you're like, I don't want to say it.
Better out than in. Better out than in.
You got it out of your system.
You have to get bad jokes out. You just have to get them out before they infect you, right?
See, I do really, really like a corny, cheesy joke. And the thing is, I think people turn their noses up at them too easily. it takes a lot of guts to stand up on a stage and to tell a cringy, simple, childish joke. And when I've seen other comedians do it, they'll do it, but they sort of throw it away halfway through. Nah, you need to lean into it and commit to a cheesy joke to get the right groan.
People love those.
Taboo.
Yeah.
People
love those jokes, though. I always see those jokes always kill on stage when somebody tells like a groaner.
They like groaning, don't they? They really enjoy it. It's a proper good groan.
Because a groaner is witty. It's a witty joke, right? Whereas, like, you know, I don't like when people go up and just do dirty jokes like the entire time. It like low-hanging fruit jokes, dick jokes, poop jokes, all those things. Like, they're funny. It's like, but it's, you know, because it's more of an uncomfortable laughter. But like a groaner or a pun is really witty. It's a witty joke, and you're like, you're more mad that somebody came up with a witty joke, like a pun that you didn't think of. That's why people get mad at them. They're like, you fucker, I should have thought of that before you.
And
well,
also,
they did a study. They did a study where they put actual funny jokes in Christmas crackers, and people did not like them as much as the shitty Christmas cracker groaner jokes. Because the thing is, everybody comes together on like, how shit is that joke, and it brings everyone together. Okay.
You laugh at a stupid joke, you eat the shitty cookie that no one likes except me. I usually end up eating all of those things. But yeah, so I heard one the other day was so fantastic. It was, you know, if you cut off your left arm, your right arm would be left.
Oh, lovely.
And I was like, that is so fantastic. That is so fantastic. You could tell that in a bazillion different ways. And it's clever. It's clever. And people are like, that's groaning because they're like, they're like, I never thought of that shit. But they they go out and they tell that joke as soon as.
When I do my stand up, I obviously do it. Obviously is the first word you'd use for this. I obviously do a lot of truck puns. Obviously, I do a lot of truck puns, and they are cheesy and so fucking simple. And I always get told off for laughing during my set, and that it's not my job to laugh. It really should be the audience's job. But I think they're so fucking cheesy. I'm with them. But I've got the mistake I make sometimes is I laugh before I've told the punchline, and then I don't deliver the punchline properly because I'm just like, I'm telling this shit joke and I'm just laughing my ass off. Right, come on, sir. Let's have.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, let's. No. It's just I've got to make sure we get to, because obviously, I don't know why I'm using the word obviously a lot today. Obviously, but Sarah and I have the ability to talk for hours without taking a breath. So we need another question from the Sieve of Truth, please, Sarah Bridgman.
Okay, Sieve of Truth.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ooh, will Trump win?
Ooh.
Because I was
went there. We didn't know it was satire.
I was at my parents' and I was like, do you think Donald Trump will win? And my dad was like, no, he won't win, definitely not. But I remember thinking that the first time round, and because of my internet bubble, I was like, there's no way this guy's going to be president. And then obviously he is. And now I'm like, I feel like there's no way he's going to win. So I'm worried that means he probably will. What do you guys think? Are you sick to death of it? And it's not even our country.
I love politics. I love hearing conspiracy theories. I love all this stuff because it's like, when you think about it, how much control do you have? None. Like, you're a speck in the universe. Who gives a shit? I think Trump is one of the greatest pirates that's ever lived. I think he's honestly he's a pirate. Like, if he was around in like 1400, 1500, he would have his own ship and he
Yes.
would be sailing the seas, just taking over other ships and killing everybody and burying treasure. He's
Yeah.
he's 100% a pirate. And I've kind of, this whole process has made me feel a lot more accepting of everyone and who they are. It's like, you know, this is, you know, if someone thinks someone else is a big, huge piece of shit, that's like, you know, there is no morality. I think it's all, you know, you try not to hurt people in the world and stuff like that, but he is just like out for himself. He's out for making as much money as possible. And I think that's kind of where people are going these days. Like, how can I get to the next level in my life? You know, how do I get more followers? How do I make people think I'm more amazing? How do I make more money? How do I do this? How do I do that? It's a constant pursuit of things. And I think Trump is kind of the antithesis of who cares about regulation? Who cares about everything? Let's just fucking do it. And I think people love that. They loved it in the 80s with Ronald Reagan. It was, you know, like, who cares what our government is doing? They're murdering people in South America. They're making deals with Iran. Who cares? Like, Wall Street's ripping everyone off. Who cares? Like, we're all making shit pots of money. Let's just go. So I think that he'll do well because everyone wants the American dream, right? Everybody wants to level up and be something better. But I think he's one of the greatest pirates lived. I was thinking like the British Empire is kind of like the greatest piracy of all time, right? Like, they didn't have anything; they just had ships. They just went around the world taking shit. I love Britain because they're unapologetic about it. It's like, well, how the fuck else did you want us to survive? Yeah. Come on.
The truth was so shiny.
Yeah, you think we're just gonna lay over and die and let everybody get bigger than us and come invade us? No, shit. Like, come on, we have to kill people.
The Romans did it once. We weren't having it again.
Yeah, and now everybody's on this like virtuous thing. Like, there's some sort of thing called like a perfect society where nobody does anything wrong and we're all perfect. And I'm so done with it, because the people that hate Trump, I'm like, yeah, but you can't stop watching him. You can't stop following him. You can't stop, you know, because I think it just makes people who are intellectual like feel superior, that they can make fun of somebody and they can make fun of other people, and it's not a good thing. You know, it's the
arguably it's worse having Trump as president than people making fun of him, though. Especially as like his policy for the COVID is killing hundreds, if not hundreds and thousands of people.
But I mean,
the thing is with
protectionism against globalism, right? Like, you're having the same thing in the UK right now, where you had a great globalist situation happening, and then they said, "Hey, what if we just manipulated this and went back to protectionism?" And that's what happened. So,
well, with this whole election at the moment, I'm treating it very much like Game of Thrones. I don't want to know any spoilers. I'm not doing it episode by episode. I'm going to do a box set at the end. You know, I'll wait for it to all be over before I start looking into it. And I do avoid it as much as I can, because it's just, oh, really? But a little bit of news got through through the gaps. And do you remember Kirstie Alley of Cheers fame, the famous bar sitcom from Chicago? Yeah. She's endorsing Trump. Because he's not a politician, I think he's going to slide through now he's got Kirstie on his side. Because everyone loves it when a C-list celebrity backs him. Yay!
If you notice, all the celebrities, they're not like they make fun of Trump, but they're not like coming out and running for president. They're not like, it's not like Oprah's running for president or The Rock is running for president, because they love his tax cuts. They love his tax cuts. Because they're kind of pirates too. They're all, you know, to be American is kind of to be a bit of a pirate.
Alex and I are big Kanye apologists, right? When it comes onto this show, Alex is usually on this show because we loved Kanye when Kanye was great, right? And it would be nice to make Kanye great again, but I think it's gone too far. But the fact is, Kanye saying I'm going to run for president is all very good, but he did forget to register.
Oh, and he is severely mentally ill. Genuinely mentally ill, bless him. You know when he did that thing and he was like, right, I'm running for president, everyone. Don't film this, but I'm running for president. And I was like, I felt sorry for him because he's clearly having some sort of psychotic break.
He's not having a good time right now. But he's he's still right now to this day tweeting saying, I'm going to be president. And it's like, you need to put your name down first. like they're in the middle of the elections right now. It's happening now. Like, yeah, I'll win it. You can't win it. You're not. Right, come here, mate. It's not worth it. Come on. Can someone take his Twitter off him? I'm very aware of the time.
Yeah.
So this is where we ask you the most important question of the night. Okay. So everybody strap yourselves in. All right. Luke Logan of Edmonton, Canada. All right. You've got a choice. And I'm not going to give you any more information other than the words I give you. What happens, you've got to decide. Would you rather a magic horse or a flying carpet?
I'm going to say I would rather have a magic horse because I could pimp him out. I could pimp out his sperm, like 25 grand a shot, maybe 50 grand a shot. Like, I don't even have to fly him. The money that I make off of the horse, because I'm thinking like a carpet would be convenient. You can just roll it up and throw it in your car, which wouldn't make any sense to throw your magic. But I mean, a horse, that's like expensive. You gotta feed him, and I'm like, what if he doesn't have his shit together? I'm like, well, he's a magic horse. What if you don't have your shit together? But yeah, I would probably sell his semen for sure. That's where my mind goes. I would sell, because I'd be like, I have magic horse junk. I can sell that for 100,000 a squeeze.
I tell you what, you don't even need.
I'm not squeezing it, but although for 100 grand. If the squeeze machine isn't working, I can do it. I'll jerk off. 100 grand, I will 100% jerk off.
For 100K, that's your price.
At this point, I'll do it for like, a steady paycheck.
1K a month.
We have been asking this question to every single guest pretty much from episode 6 onwards. It was just one of the questions. And then we decided every time we had a guest, we were going to definitely ask people. And it wasn't until about episode 19 that Spider Jones tried to monetize the horse. No one has ever monetized the horse. Okay, then he's charging people for rides to have their picture taken with it. But even he didn't turn it into any sort of sex slavery.
Well, I mean, you said I own them, right? So
I know. I mean, it threw us when we got asked if it had a personality, if it could talk. People start making assumptions whether or not they've got to feed it. We haven't given you any information. It could be a magical horse that just doesn't actually need food. Then they start turning the manure into like bombs, like flying over someone's house you don't like. Just get that manure to land at high speed. But nobody has ever covered the artificial insemination process.
Right. And now I totally forgot he's a magic horse, so he probably can have sex on his own. I don't need to jerk him off.
He's a glamorous assistant.
It's like, I don't have to like put it in a cup and bring it over to the horse. I can bring him to the horse. But yeah, no, I would definitely be pimping out the magic horse. My mind just went to all the illegal things I can do with him. And yeah, but
I reckon you could put for sale on eBay right now magic horse sperm, and someone will buy it.
Oh,
so someone is going to make a bid for that. So
you're gonna make a friend for sure. Someone's gonna reach out to you.
Yeah. So good luck.
Definitely reach a beanie. Right. So can I just quickly steer the conversation away from the manipulation of a horse todger? So, Luke, do you have a social media handle or a comedy page that you would like to promote?
Yeah, you can just follow me or friend me on my my regular page, Luke Logan on Facebook, and then on Instagram I'm Boxanova44. So I'll put that up. I've recently been doing this thing where I go over all my old posts and I take a lot of things down. So I don't really have very much. So when you do see something, it's only there for about a few days, and then I take it down or archive it. So
So how are you spelling that? Foxanova. How do you spell it?
Boxanova.
Oh, box as in right. Okay, yeah. I thought you meant fox as in vulpine. Of course, I know that now that I've actually because we've been friends at workshop and I've seen you stuff. Boxing is in your wheelhouse. You've never done anything to foxes, so I don't know why I suppose because I've now just associated very bad things with animals.
No, I haven't been selling fox sperm as of yet. Because I'm still making
watch this space.
Hey, we've all got to diversify in these unprecedented times. I want to thank you so much for being a great guest and making our big world even bigger, because we've never had a guest on from Canada. So you are a groundbreaker for that one.
Well, thank you so much. I love watching your guys' show, and it was nice to be on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. But I want to say happy birthday as well to Liam Bukowski's little girl. So that's why he said the whole day with his family and stuff.
Liam Bukowski.
So yes, little Bukowski has a
birthday, little Liam.
So yes, I'll see you all very soon. We'll see you at 10:30 UK every Sunday night on Big World Small Talk, available Joke Pit. We've also got Big World Comedy on Twitter and Big World Small Talk on Facebook if you want to find out more. But thank you very much, Luke. You've been absolutely amazing. Everybody say goodbye, Big World.
Bye, Big World.
Bye. Thanks so much.